now students, we start with the fact of the diesel engine. Diesel engine is a type of internal combustion engine, more specially a compression ignition system, in which the fuel is ignited by sudden exposure to the high temperature and pressure of compressed gas containing the oxygen. Means in the suction stroke, we have only air is intact in the engine cylinders in the diesel engine. Then it generates the high pressure and high temperature because of the higher compression ratio. And at that particular moment, we supply the fuel and it is ignited by suddenly expose. So here the source of ignition means for starting of the fire or the ignitions of the fuel, we do not have the spark plug in this engine. Instead of that, we have ignite this fuel using the energy, or we can say the temperature or the heat which is generated by the compressed air. And this engine is known as a the diesel cycle, which is responsible means a diesel engine is work on that system. And after the German engineer of Rudolf Diesel, who invented this technology in 1892 and received the patent for the same in the February 1893. So this is the history of a diesel engine. Now diesel engine fact: initially the CI engine were a large and slow, heavy distillate petroleums. As we know that the gasoline is different kind of fuels, as well as the diesel is different kind of fuels. So this heavy distillate petroleum was forced into the cylinder using the compressed air. Student, it is very important words that initially we cannot use the solid injection system. We supply the diesel using the compressed air. Then in Robert Bosch becomes the producing injection system in 1927. Means before the 1927 means the inceptions of this diesel engine is happens in 1893, and up to the 1927 the diesel is injected using the compressed air. And after that there is a Bosch pump is that the injection system is producing means Bosch pumps are comes into the 1927s. And here some of the facts for the CI and SI engines. So SI engine draws the fuel and air into the cylinders, where fuel must be injected in the cylinder at a desired time for the combustions in CI engines. Students, here for the injection system designing of the diesel engine, we must have to know that it is injected at particular time at particular durations of the time in which the fuel is injected. Means the starting as well as end of the injections as well as quantity of the fuel injected is very important for the engine fuel supply systems. Air intake throttled to the SI engines and no throttling is there in the CI engines. The compression ratio must be high enough to cause the auto ignitions in the CI engines, because we know that the diesel is burned or the ignitions will take place due to the high temperature and pressures of air, and which achieves using the compression ratio means a higher compression ratio. Upper compression ratio is in the SI engines is decided by the auto ignition temperatures. Here there is no limitations for the compression ratio. Flame front in SI engine is a smooth and controlled because the one flame is generated from the spark, and that is uniformly, or we can say the homogeneously spread into the cylinders. But in the CI engine, combustion is a rapid and uncontrolled at the beginning. So there is a difference between the combustion phenomena in SI and CI engines. Now diesel engine fact. The vital component of any diesel engine system is a governor, which limits the speed of engine by controlling the rate of fuel delivery. Because here we do not have the quality governing systems, but we have the quantity governing systems, and that why we have to use the governing system which will regulate the or the quantity of the fuel, or we can say the rate of fuel delivery, which controlled by the governor. Older governors were driven by the gear system from the engine, and thus the supplied fuel only linearly vary with the speeds. But nowadays, in modern technology, we are using the electronically controlled engines, which achieve this through the electronic control module or electronic control units, ECU or ECM. The additions of the turbocharger or the supercharger can also increase the fuel economy as well as the power output. The higher compression ratio allows the diesel engine to make more efficient than the comparable spark ignition system, although the calorific value of a fuel is slightly lower. So student, this is very important information. Sometimes it may be asked in the interview, or sometimes it may be asked in the Viva examinations or in the competitive examinations, that why the diesel engine has a higher thermal efficiency, as the diesel has a low calorific value compared to petrol. Here you can see that the diesel fuel has a calorific value of 45,300 in terms of kilojoule. If you consider in the megajoule, then it is a 45.3, and for the gasoline it is 45.8 megajoule per kg. So which suggests that the gasoline has a higher calorific value and diesel has a low calorific value by the comparisons of these two fuels. Although the diesel fuel has a higher economy, or we can say the higher efficiency, because of higher compression ratio. And in petrol engine, this value is lies in the range of 7 to 10, as we know that the rating of fuel, that is HUCR, that is the highest useful compression ratio, and for the gasoline it is near about maximum is 10.7. We cannot go beyond that. So here in the diesel, we have the higher compression ratio, which is lies in the range of 14 to 22, and that's why we have the higher efficiency in the diesel engine compared to petrol engine. Here we have a diesel engine application. So it is used in high-speed engines and used to power trucks, is there, bus, tractors, cars, and all the small generators. Students, generally wherever there is a power is more, then we use the diesel engine. Large electrical generators are driven by the medium speed engines and optimized run at a speed and provide a rapid response to the load changes. The largest diesel engines are used to power ship, means in marine application we also use these diesel engines. These engines have a power output over the 80,000 kilowatt. Sometimes we are also using in the locomotive that diesel engines, but petrol engine cannot be generate that much amount of power, and that's why this largest power application systems we are using the diesel engines. Now we come to the points after seeing this, the fact which is related to the CI engines or the diesel engine. We move towards the fuel injection system requirements. The first requirement is the fuel injection should be occurs at a correct moment. Second, it should be supply the fuel in correct quantity as required by the varying engine loads. The third is injected fuel must be broken into the very fine droplets, because we know that the liquid fuel cannot be burned. We need to convert this liquid, means a bulk liquid, into the small droplets, and that droplets is evaporate and then it burns in the gaseous phases. So here the spray pattern should be ensure the rapid mixings of fuel and air, and that's why the evaporations of droplets is getting, or we can say the rapidly it is evaporated in the cloud of hot air. The next is it should supply the equal quantities of meter fuel to all cylinders in multi-cylinder engines. So students, here we are discussing the fuel injection system requirement with the considerations of multi-cylinder engines. The beginning and end of the injection should be a sharp, means at starting the fuel cannot be supplied with a low velocity and then it is increases after certain moment of the period, and at the end of the injection system it should be a sharp, means at the stopping point the fuel supply is get zero rapidly, not by reducing the velocity. So this is very important requirement. Students, these points are very important, and sometimes it may be asked in the university examinations for 3 months that write the fuel injection system requirement for the CI engines. So you must have to write all these points. It is very easy if you know the fact, then you can easily write all these points. As the first point is very relevant with the phenomena of the combustions in the CI engine, that fuel injection should occurs at correct moment. Then second is the correct quantity is also important as per the variations in the engine loads. Injected fuel must be broken into the very fine droplets. Then spray pattern is also important, which causes of rapid mixings of fuel and air. Then for the multi-cylinder, the meter quantity is equally supplied to all the cylinders in multi-cylinder engine. And last one is very important, that is the beginning and end of the injection system should be a shaft. Now the next point is the element of fuel injection system. So there are five different element is there. One is called as a pumping element, second is metering element, third is distribution element, fourth is time control, and fifth one is a mixing element. Now we see one by one the functions of this all the elements. So pumping element is, name itself suggests that, to supply the fuel from the fuel tank to the cylinders. So it takes the fuel from the fuel tank and it supplies to the cylinders. Then metering device, name itself suggests, it meter the fuel as per the load and speed variations in the engine. Then distributions is very important in the multi-cylinders. In single cylinder engine, distribution element is not present, and distribution element have a function to divide the meter fuel equally among the cylinders. Timing control is adjusts the start and stop times of the injection, and this is also very important element. Then mixing element is to atomize and the distribute, means it is basically have a functions of the atomizations and the spray pattern inside the combustion chambers or the cylinders. So this is the functions of various elements. Now students, as we know that the Rudolf Diesel is invented this diesel engine, and initially this diesel is injected using the assistant, or we can say that it is air assist system is there, or air blast system. So there is a two types of system is basically used. One is called as a solid injection and second is called as a air injection system or blast injection system. In air blast injection system, fuel is forced into the cylinders by means of compressed air, means there is a medium which provides the energy to have the injections of fuel inside the cylinders. This system is used, literally used universally at present, because it requires a multi-stage air compressor and which increase the engine weight and reduce the brake power. This method is capable of producing better atomizations and penetrations of fuel, resulting in higher brake mean effective pressures. And the second system is the solid injection systems. In solid injection system, the liquid fuel is injected directly into the combustion chamber without aid of compressed air. Hence, it is termed as airless mechanical injection system or the solid injection system. So students, we have the two types of basically injection system is there. One is the air assist and second one is called as a solid fuel injection system. Every solid injection system must have the pressure units and atomizing units. This is a basic requirement of a solid injection system because we need to produce the higher pressures for injection by using the pump. And second things, this bulk liquid is converted into the fine droplets, or we can say the atomizations. So we require the atomizing units, means called as the injectors. So this is the two important concept. Now solid injection system also further classified based on the different factors. So depending on the locations of pump and injectors, the manner of their operations, solid injection system may have further classified as follow: that common rail system, unit injection system, individual pump and nozzle system, and distributor systems. So now students, we study this all the system in depth. Here in the figure, the common rail system is we have the diagram of common rail system in the figure. Fuel is supplied. So from here, the fuel is supplied. This is the high pressure system, means the pressure elements. Then this higher pressure line means the liquid fuel is having in the header, where the higher pressure this fuel is there, which is supplied to the individual the engines, or we can say the cylinders. Then here it is injector is there, which inject the fuel inside the cylinder. So this is in this system, high pressure pump supplied fuel to fuel header as shown in the figure. The high pressure fuel in the header force the fuel into the each nozzle located inside the cylinders. At the proper time, the mechanical operated by means of push rod and rocker arm, the valve allows the fuel enters into the cylinder through the nozzle, and the fine spray of the droplet is generated, and which mix with the air which is at end of the compression stroke. There is a high pressure and high temperature as is that. So this fine droplets is mixed with the air which is available inside the cylinders. So this is a common rail system. Then unit injection. So students, name itself suggests that unit injection means from a low pressure pump we supplied the individual supply of the fuel, and which is injected inside the cylinders, and there is a return line is there. So unit, here the pump and nozzle are combined in one housing. Each cylinder is provide one of these unit injectors. The fuel is brought up to the injector by low pressure. In previously we have the high pressure system, but here we have one injector which includes the high pressure pump. So initially we have the low pressure pump, and in previously only injector nozzle is there, and we have the high pressure units is there. So this is the change in the unit system, unit injection system, and common rail systems. Now there is individual or the separate pump system is there. So here the individually pump is there, and high pressure fuel is supplied, and here it is only one injector nozzle is there, and here there is a low pressure fuel supply system or fuel pump is there. This is the separate pump, and here the pumps are in the cluster, means these pumps are joined on the same shaft. Here there is an individual or separate pump is there for the separate cylinders. Then the distributor supply systems. Here the pump which pressurize the fuel, also meter and time it, means we have the three different processes are there at one unit: meter, time, and pressurization. The fuel pump, after the metered quality or meter required quantity of the fuel, supplied it into the rotating distributor. At the correct time for the supply to each engine, the fuel is supplied. Since there is one metering element in each pump, a uniform distribution is ensured. Means uniformly distributions of the meter quality among the multi-cylinders are ensured in this system. Now the fuel injection pump. There are two types of pump is there, which is generally used in the diesel engine. Let's we start the theory, working, and animations of jerk type, or we can say the injection pump. So see here, jerk type fuel injection pump is there. Now we are going to see how it works. So see, this is the component. Here it is operated using the cam, and how it works. We will understand that how the jerk pump or the fuel injector pump is work, and it is very easy to understand using this video. It is very difficult to have the understanding or develop the understanding from the figure which is given on the in the book. So students, first of all, you must have to understand there is three port is there. One is a spill port, supply port, and the delivery port or the output port. There is a plunger is there, or we can say the piston, and piston having a one helix, and there is one controlling rack is there, and one sleeve is there. So the assembly is there, as well as on the outer passage there is a one spring and valve is there, which regulates the pressure of output fuels. This is simple motions without any movement of the sleeve. After that, when the sleeve is also moved, the helix of the piston head is also get moved.
The control rack rotates the sleeve and the piston. The orientation of the piston decides the quantity of fuel and effective flow. When the piston begins to move up, at first the fuel can exit through the spill port. There is no pressure buildup and the valve remains closed. Once the spill port is blocked, the fuel is trapped. As the piston rises, pressure builds up. Once the spill port is blocked, the fuel is trapped. Piston rises, pressure builds up, which exerts a force on the valve. Ultimately, the valve opens and high pressure fuel is delivered to the injector. As the piston rises, the spill port is uncovered again. Pressure drops and the valve closes. The duration for which the valve is open in each stroke is known as the effective stroke. Okay, let's try this again with a different orientation of the piston. The spill port is open and the valve is closed. The piston rises, the spill port is covered, and the valve opens due to the pressure. The piston rises further, the spill port is still closed. Notice that the valve remains open longer in this case, that is, a longer effective stroke. Once the spill port opens, the valve closes back down.
So this is how the plunger pump, or we can say the Bosch pumps, is working. Now we are going with another pump that is called as a distributor type of pump. So again,
Type fuel injection pump.
now we are going for the distributor or distributor types of fuel injection pump. So I again share the video of this distributor types of fuel injection pump.
Various parts. There is a central longitudinal cavity in the rotor and a pair of radial holes at different times. One hole is for fuel inlet and other for fuel outlet.
Students, here we have, this is the cavity inside this chamber. It is vertical oriented. It is along the axis of this pump. So it is the longitudinal cavity for the fuel. So fuel is supplied over here, and there is a radial hole or the radial outlet is there, which is located at the same orientation. One is an inlet passage and another is a outlet passage.
For fuel inlet and other for fuel outlet. The fuel is drawn or forced out of the cavity as per the movement of the plungers. The camring controls the movement of the plungers via a roller and a bush. Over the rotor is a stator that contains inlet and outlet ports for the fuel.
This is the assembly. Now this bottom we have cam.
Of the rotor aligns with the inlet port. The plungers move out, drawing fuel into the central cavity. The outlet aligns with the outlet port. The plungers move inward, pushing out fuel from the cavity.
Here, due to this disc, we have motions of this bottom plunger springs, and once it is matched with the inlet passage, the fuel is drawn inside the rotor, and when it comes match with the outlet passage, it delivers the fuel. Now it is matched with the outlet passage. So the fuel is outletted from this line. So this is
Now, consider the engine. There are 4 inlet passages to intake fuel 4 times and 4 outlet ports for the 4 cylinders.
So this is the arrangement for the 4 cylinders. We have the 4 different outlets, and there is inlet is there. And if the number of cylinders are more, then we have the more outlets, which is designed on the parameters of this rotor. So this is how the distributor types of pumps is work using the cam mechanisms. So students, we shall stop over here. But before ending the session, I just want to summarize the today's lecture. In today's lecture, we start with the revision of the previous lecture. Then we discussed the requirement of the fuel injection system for CI engines. Then we discussed the various elements. Then there is a two types of fuel injection system. One is air assist, another is airless, or it is called as a solid injection or the mechanical injection. Then in the mechanical injection, there is a three types of system. One is a common rail, unitary, and individual pump types of systems. That is a three types of system. And after that, we start the elements of the fuel injection system. There is a two main elements is there. One is a pump and another is atomizer. In today's lecture, we have discussed the two types of pump which is used for the diesel injection system. One is the plunger type and second one is a distributor types of pumps. So with this topic, we end the sessions. In next lecture, we are going to discuss the second units of fuel injection system, and that is the atomizing units, or we can say the nozzle. So with this word, I end the sessions.